Hi, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you want to manifest your ideal love relationship that we refer to as your twin flame experience, then self-love is the most important topic for you to focus on. And here's why. Because you first must become that which you desire. If you want a consciously loving relationship that is going to thrive, it's going to be full of harmony and intimacy and openness and connection, then you've got to establish that for yourself first. So today I'm going to give you my 5 biggest power-packed steps to take to total self-love. Number 1, value yourself. So what does this mean? This doesn't mean assigning some external value to your worth. This means living day to day and moment to moment with the active application of valuing yourself. So what does that mean? That means not tolerating inner or external circumstances that devalue you. You might set up some boundaries in your relationships, and you also might set up some boundaries in your inner life where you have some ways of thinking about yourself that are less than valuable, or you have a way of relating to yourself, your life experiences, and your emotional experiences that aren't bringing you value. So when I say value yourself, I'm talking about a really practical measure of attention to, is this experience that I'm having right now valuable to me? Now, you can't always control what you're going to experience, but you can always control your attitude toward it. And that's what I would say you can do in any situation to give yourself value. If you can't change it, you can certainly shift your mindset and the way you're experiencing it to be something of value rather than something that devalues your experience. So number 2, if it doesn't bring you joy, cut it out. Ladies, get in the closet. If you don't like yourself in it, get rid of it. Those, jeans you've been hanging on to since college, hoping you'll fit back into, guess what? They're just a symbol of how much you're devaluing yourself. You are saying to yourself, I will be better if I am like this and when I am like this. And that hard object in your closet or in your life is just another measure. It's just energy around that attitude and around that choice, that's how you're going to treat yourself and that's how you're going to think about yourself. So get rid of it. If it's relationship that isn't valuing you, get rid of it. This doesn't give you license to go around and be a jerk. Let's face it, it doesn't bring you joy to be a jerk, but it does mean that, maybe you have that friend who's not willing to help themselves, that's constantly asking you for advice. And no matter how many times you draw a boundary with that person, their behavior doesn't change and they don't change. That might be a situation where it's not bringing anybody joy and you just need to cut it out. I'll leave the discernment up to you. Number 3, talk to yourself like, this is a tip, okay? Talk to yourself like you would a child. Let me explain what I mean. If you're talking to a child, we all have a filter, right? If you're going to go talk to a child, especially somebody else's child, that you don't know, you're going to have a way of speaking, that's kind, tender, compassionate, listening, understanding. You maybe should give that to yourself. Try to develop a self-talk that is tender, compassionate, understanding, listening, allowing for space inside yourself to feel what you're feeling. Relate to yourself in that way in your self-talk. Okay, next one, number 4. Pay yourself first. Okay, you hear this all the time in finance. They say, pay yourself first, put that money in the bank, give yourself what you need to survive off of first. Okay, well, I'm taking this to the level of, how you are going to invest in yourself. And I'm saying, invest in yourself first. Pay yourself first with your time, with your energy. Choose to put in your schedule and in your calendar the things that really cause you to thrive, that give you motivation. pay yourself first. When you get up in the morning, and this is huge because, and I see this so much with women, that we're big givers, and we have a lot of pull on our energy and our time when it comes to our jobs and our families, our kids, our relationships. You know, we're really mostly considered the nurturers and the taker care of things. And it's so important that we give ourselves the support that we need to be those big givers. And so this is a huge one for self-love. And it's, you know, when you get up in the morning, think about what it is that you need for your day before you start going into giving mode, before you go into what you're going to do for somebody else, how well you're going to perform at your job, and what, you know, how you're going to go above and beyond for, you know, your company or your boss, or even your own business that is created to give to others. What is it that you need? Do you need to pay more attention to feeding yourself the foods that really sustain you and give you nourishment? Do you need to pay attention to those activities that really give you a strong foundation for your day? There's maybe meditation or yoga, or some, you know, self-reflection in the morning, maybe a workout, exercise. The things that we tend to leave on the back burner, those things that I'll do that for myself when I have time, do that first. Put that first. So, and the last one, stop, and this might be the biggest one on the list, stop making choices based on what other people think of you and what they expect of you. This is a huge one. If you can shift this, you're going to be well on your way. Stop making choices based on what other people think of you. So if somebody doesn't like the way you do something, if someone doesn't like the way you prioritize or what your values are, you don't need to people please here. You don't need to make choices. You don't need to shrink. You don't need to hide. You don't need to modify your choices to please others. If people think, oh, it's really great when you show up with that, you know, extra thing. You're always giving above and beyond, and you're always showing up with the extra. You go to a dinner party, your dish is the best, and you show up with that bottle of wine as well. Everybody loves that about you. You're such a big giver. Well, maybe you don't always want to be that, and you don't have to always show up the way people expect you to, or even as you have in the past. Just because people like something that you're really good at doesn't mean that you owe it to them. This is the biggest one, I think, especially in family. I hear this all the time. Well, you're better at that than me. And I think just because I'm good at it doesn't mean I owe it to you. I'm good at it, and I'm going to give it to myself. And then when I feel like I have extra to give, I'm going to give some, or maybe share that with you. And that'll be up to my discretion. And this is maybe where we need to close off some energy leaks, where we just kind of get in a groove and in a mode, and I just do that. And without discerning in the moment, do I really feel like doing this today? Do I really feel like giving this much? And, you know, because it's expected, we kind of can fall into those patterns. So don't make choices based on what other people think. Don't try to improve what they think of you by behaving differently than is authentic to you. You don't owe anybody your energy, your time, or your life force. In fact, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself, because you are responsible for the life that you experience. You can't control everything that's happening around you. But if you don't support yourself with these 5 suggestions that I've made today, then you're not giving yourself the strongest foundation you can to show up in your highest potential and be that consciously loving person that's capable of intimacy, romance, vulnerability, strength, and courage. You need that foundation that is the investment that you make in yourself. So I hope you'll use these 5 big steps that I laid out for you today. And I hope you'll come back and visit my channel and my page some more, and enjoy some more videos on topics for conscious love and healing and manifesting a life that you desire.